Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me, can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins. Happy Friday Eve. Excited to be here. Got a jam-packed show today. We're going to be talking with Stephen Bernard of SB Prod Media. And then in the second segment, we're going to talk to Riverwood's head coach, Leonard Jenkins. It will be a lot of fun. He's going to bring some players on as well. So that will be a lot of fun there. In the Final Four, we'll be taking on the Jonesboro Cardinals this weekend, yes, at West Georgia. So we'll talk to him a little about that, his team, and then we'll conclude the top 10 headlines for the weekend. But without further ado, let's go and get right into it and bring on Stephen Bernard from SB Prod Media. Hey, man, what's going on?
Hanging in there. How about yourself, man?
Feel you, man. Another day, another dollar for me, man. But excited to have you on. I just want to ask, man, what have you been to, man? It's been probably, almost 3 months since I've seen you. So what have you been up to? What you been doing since the state championships?
Yeah, I mean, I jumped full on to 7-on-7, as you know. It's obviously as big as it gets in the springtime. Allows, the game to continue to progress and kids to work on their skills individually as well as in a team format. So jumped into 7-on-7 once the state championships were over with and kind of filming tryouts, having exposure to several teams, creating content for several teams. And then I did, end up jumping into the Senior Bowl, then the Super Bowl, and now here at the NFL Combine.
No doubt. So I want to ask you that. Just start with the 7-on-7. What schools have you been able to tour? It looked like you was in Florida a little bit as well. So talk about that experience. What some athletes you was able to see down there?
Yeah, so in South Florida, I mainly just wanted to kind of check out some of the top teams. So I did attend DEF CON, South Florida Express, as well as Miami Raw's tryout. Variety of different athletes. SFE, I wanted to see the 5-star wide receiver Jamie French out of Jacksonville, Mandarin High School. I was also curious to see his quarterback at Mandarin, who's a 4-star Florida State commit, Tramel Jones, and just kind of checking out some other athletes while I was there. The Miami Raw tryout was super energetic, highly competitive. There was kids from out of town, from out of state that flew in just for the tryout to have the opportunity to play on that team. Obviously, they're one of the marquee 7-on-7 teams in the country. Checked out a bunch of different Miami Central players. To be honest, 7-on-7 has become so huge. Such a great opportunity to have coaches keep an eye on these kids and see them work on their skills. And, at the Miami Raw trial, I don't think I've ever seen that many college coaches or any college coaches had a 7-on-7 tryout in my life. So that was pretty cool.
No doubt about it. And then you said you got a little bit of experience. You were able to go to the Super Bowl. So how was that, being able to cover, get to see Patrick Mahomes and being able to go to all the media sessions? How cool was that to be able to see them in the San Francisco 49ers?
Oh, it was insane. Life-changing experience. Just seeing the operation of what we know as the Super Bowl, what happens behind the scenes throughout the week. It's such a large production with so many hands involved just to make, that being the marquee thing to do every year, right? It's the biggest event in the world every February. So just kind of going there, being there throughout the week. It was very long. I think Vegas is an extremely interesting place, and I think a week is a little too long, but it was totally worth it. I was able to work the media role, be on the field, interview some players. I was doing some work for a Fox affiliate. That's the reason how I got my credentials to get in there, but I also had the opportunity and the autonomy to do some content for myself and to talk with some of these guys by myself. But the Taste of the NFL event, where they kind of fly in chefs from around the world and you try food for free and drink free, that's awesome. All types of private events, meeting sports agents, people from other networks was really cool. So it was a really good networking opportunity, and just a way for me to kind of understand how the game works at that scale.
And then just speaking on that, how were you able just to be at Atlanta? I know you're big on the high school realm and what you're able to do, obviously here in the state of Georgia, but how were you able to kind of land that opportunity, that gig with the Fox Sport affiliate, and still be able to kind of do your own thing?
Absolutely. So obviously, and just like you are in your business, you want to continue to grow and have as much viewership as possible and have as many people be able to see your content and hear your message, right? It was literally luck. One of my videos ended up falling in the hands of the right person. I was in New York for a work trip, and I got a phone call. That person approached me with asking me, hey, would you like to cover for them during the combine? And I said, absolutely. That's fine. And then they were like, well, how about the Super Bowl? And I almost dropped the phone. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, all right, where do I sign up? What do I need to do, right? So I completely went all in with it. I think it's God's way of showing me that I'm doing the right thing. Last time we had a conversation, we were discussing a lot of different things in high school, and that's never going to change. I think what it shows is it shows range on my part, and shows that I really love the game, no matter if it's at the youth level in Georgia, whether it's 7-on-7 or high school, whatever, all the way to the highest level. So I just love the game, love being around the game, love covering the game. Obviously, photography and videography is my thing, and I'm continuing to sharpen my craft by just being put in some of these environments. So that's the way that I look at it.
No doubt. And then who are you excited to watch at the Combine? I know it starts today, all the way to the end of the weekend, man. So who are some players you're just excited to kind of see and watch? And, who's caught your eye, you going in with a game plan, like I want to be able to see this player do all these drills?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I got here Tuesday. Yesterday was strictly interviews with defensive ends and linebackers. Today was with defensive backs and tight ends. So the defensive ends and linebackers will be, actually, once I'm done with you, I'm going to head over to the stadium to start to cover that. But I'm very excited to see a couple different guys. Jared Verse, probably will be a top 15 pick. Very curious to see what he runs. If he runs as good as I think he will, then that's going to kind of project him a little bit higher. Latu from UCLA is another guy that I'm interested in seeing from the defensive line spot. And then obviously DBs were interviews today, but I'm really curious to see their work tomorrow. There's a couple of guys, Terrion Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, Kool-Aid McKinstry, guys like that. I'm super curious to see how they're. Nate Wiggins, shout out to Nate from Westlake High School. Some of these guys are really impressive in person, and I think they've taken their preparation very seriously. So it's time to put all that hard work to showcase in front of all these NFL teams.
No doubt. And how excited are you to see T'Vondre Sweat? I think he's kind of garnered a lot of attention, right? What he's been able to do is do on the field, off the field. But he said he plans to run one of the fastest 40 times, even at his size and weight. So just what do you think about that? How excited you are to see him as well?
I mean, he's a specimen, right? Only thing about Sweat is he made us wait 2 hours yesterday for his media availability. I don't know what happened with him. That was frustrating. But outside of that, if you see the amount of reporters that waited for him, you know that he's the real deal, right? If he was just another guy or a regular player, then nobody would have showed up to his media availability. So guy like him, very, very interesting to see. I think he can play in a variety of different fronts. To be honest, I mean, he's more than a run stopper. He's pretty versatile. And I'm very curious to see how teams are going to use him and how they view him. But obviously, the measurables, when the measurables come in, hand size, weight, things like that, I think with him, these are some of the things that are kind of going to pop out of your eye when you look at it and be like, wow, this guy's a big athlete.
No doubt. And in terms of just of coverage, what's kind of your plan? Are you going to do a lot of interviews? Are you doing a lot of just content with 40 times and things like that, one-on-one drills? What's kind of your plan as far as your coverage goes?
Yeah. First and foremost is going to be content. I've been covering all the Florida athletes or guys who came out of Florida schools for the Fox affiliate that I've been working for. So UCF, USF, Florida State, UF, and Miami. That's been my main objective. Outside of that, I'm going to be shooting photography and videography at the Combine, and that's when I'm going to be able to get those personal interviews. Of course, they're going to be right after these guys do their workouts. These guys are laser focused. They're locked in. They've already answered questions in their media availability, so I'm not going to go ahead and impede on that. So once they're done with their workout, that kind of sense of relief kind of hits in. That's when I'm going to go ahead and kind of get some content for my page and go from there. Just kind of learn these guys, man. I think A lot of these kids we've been seeing in the limelight, whether they're in high school or obviously to the college level. But what's their story? Who are they? What makes them tick? What makes them great? What drives them? What motivates them? That's the things that I really am interested in. Not just the 40 time, but the 40 is pretty cool though.
No doubt about it. And then last thing on the combines and some of the bowls, how excited were you just to kind of be at the Senior Bowl? What were some things you took away from that? Seeing some of the top talent. I heard the O-line class from this year is just off the charts. It's very, very, very deep. So what's your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, I just love the opportunity that the Senior Bowl provides, not only the media, but just the fans itself. It's such a homegrown experience. It almost feels like your local high school game on a Friday, but to a larger scale. It was amazing. It was amazing. I was very curious to see certain prospects. There's some guys that were under the radar that really caught my eye. That's one of the reasons I feel like Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo might be the first DB taken. He was dominated during the Senior Bowl. I was able to see Javon Baker, receiver out of UCF. Incredibly impressive. I was able to see Jarvis Brownlee. A lot of these guys really, really were impressive. Braden Fisk, even Spencer Rattler, a guy whose career has been kind of in the limelight, highs and lows. He was able to go out there and really be one of the better quarterbacks and eventually win the MVP of the game. So that was extremely exciting. I wish there was a little bit more time between the Senior Bowl and the Super Bowl because I literally went from one job to another. But if anybody's in media and loves football, loves college football in particular, please take the time to go to the Senior Bowl, man. It's totally worth it. It's awesome.
No doubt about it. And then what's kind of your plan after that? I know you've kind of been busy these last couple of months, right? You're doing the 7-on-7, you're doing the Senior Bowl, you're doing the Super Bowl, you're doing the Combine. So what's kind of your plan after the dust settles, after you're done with the Combine? What's kind of next for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the question, right? Same thing that I've been asking myself. How do I continue to elevate and what's the next thing for me to do? I am going to be obviously doing 7-on-7 all the way through probably Memorial Day or June or whenever the season ends. Most likely 7-on-7 all the way through. And then I'll be doing the Elite 11 as well as the OT7 National Championships in LA, which coincide together. I'll probably do as many OT7s as possible. That's probably the largest scale operation I did last year before, obviously, what I've, some of the things that you named this year with the Combine, Super Bowl, and Senior Bowl. But I'll be doing 7-on-7. I mean, when it comes to 7-on-7, if it's a big tournament, I'm going to be there. I'm the guy for that. So I think you see the hat, you know the vibes. So I'm going to be outside with it and just trying to put as much, not only as much content possible, bring as much exposure to these kids and then bring them to you so you can give them the exposure because you're the man with that too.
I appreciate that, man. A couple more, man. I'll let you get out of here because I know you're busy. I want to talk about the matchups like preseason that I know you've already seen, man. So we got to rap about it. Some big-time matchups. So I want to get your thoughts, man, on the Corky Kell matchups. Which ones are you most excited to kind of see? It is a loaded slate, man. I mean, it's some really good games. I think it gives exposure to a lot of good programs. But what games caught your eye as soon as it dropped and it released?
I actually had a discussion with somebody about this during the Wii Ball Dynasty U 7-on-7 tournament last weekend. I'm here to say that this year's Corky Kell slate and games will be more competitive and better than last year's were. That's no knock to anybody. It's just my opinion. But I have two particular matches that I'm curious to see. The first will be Brookwood versus Walton. I want to see what Walton is bringing back. They lost so much talent. It was such a great team. They were upset in the state championship. Great job by Milton, kind of taking them down. But I want to see what Walton brings back and what their mindset is, how they're going to set the tone and rebound after that tough loss in the state championship game. And I want to see what Brookwood has. Obviously, we talk about Braden Tyson going into sophomore year at that point, rising sophomore. But there's some other guys that are some real players that are going to have a large effect in that game. And I want to see what that's going to look like. Neither team is stranger to big games. They've been into Corky Kell before. I believe they play in the Corky Kell every year. So we'll see what they do under the lights. But outside of that, who are we fooling here, man? It's going to be Cedar Grove and DC. Everybody knows that's the game. I spoke with John Adams a couple days ago about it. He's super excited about the matchup. Got some insight on who their quarterback's going to be. And no, I'm not going to tell you who it is. But they're bringing back a variety of talent. They added some weapons on the receiver end. Obviously, you got Bo Walker, UGA commit. You got Devin Carter, probably the most underappreciated receiver in the country. I think he's that good. And then they have some pieces that they're going to replace on the defensive end as well. DC, They're my pick to win the state championship.
Okay.
I think they're. I'm going to go out and say it right now. And I think Cedar Grove's going to win. Maybe. We'll see in their classification. But Douglas County, the eyes are on them. The way that they finished the season, a sour note, losing to Woodward. I want to see how they rebound from that. Everybody was expecting them to kind of run the table and win it last year, and it didn't happen for them. So super curious to watch them play, and I think they're going to set the tone and make some noise at the Corky Kell that day.
So Douglas County over Carrollton. Said
Yes.
to win it all. That's bold. Well, I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about it more in depth on another day. Got to tell you about some things about
Now,
Carrollton.
Carrollton's loading up. We know.
Yeah.
We know what they're trying to do.
Yeah. We're going to have to talk about that on another day when we got more time, man. Okay, two more. I'll let you get out of here. One, what's your thoughts on the Buford-Milton matchup week 1? I think it's one of the best games in the state going into that week 1. I mean, you got Milton who won it all. Buford, they're not going to have the same hype, but we got to see what they're going to do in this offseason in the spring. You know, they're always good with having talent, you know, and getting to come there. So what's your thoughts on that early matchup, man? I think it's a tone setter for both early on.
You're talking about probably two of the best coach teams in the state of Georgia, even the country. I'm never going to bet against Luke Nickel. That kid's he's a baller. He's just great. Galvanizes the troops, makes plays, tougher, more athletic than you think. Really good guy. So I'm going to pick Milton in that matchup, and that's also because I don't know what Buford's bringing back at quarterback. Do we know who their quarterback is for next season? We don't. We know they have a stable at running back, but there might be some movement there as well. So keep an eye on their running back room. Outside of that, I'm going to pick Milton with that one. That's going to be a great matchup, but Milton with the win on that day, for sure.
Interesting pick, man. I'm sure that's going to be televised some way, somehow. And then last one, man, this is a two-sided question. I want to know your thoughts on Carrollton versus Gainesville. I think that's another marquee game that's going to be coming up this next season. What's your thoughts on that? And which matchup out of the ones we did not mention are you most excited to see next year?
Okay, so I'm going to take Carrollton. Obviously, like you said, we'll talk about it some other day, but the way they're loading up, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, which I felt like was their weakness last year and even the year before to certain points. They're loading up, getting help on that end. Obviously, Julian Lewis reclassified to the class of 25, so it's all in for one magical run, and hopefully that they can see if they can finally win. If they don't win it, I think they're going to be the favorite, outside of me, of course. But if they don't win it, I think there's going to be some questions on why. I'm curious to see how they develop, how they grow throughout the season. Obviously, spring is going to be huge. Gainesville, Gainesville's Gainesville. They're going to reload. They're never going to rebuild. Coach Niblett has everything rolling over there. Curious to see what Michael Stevens, the young running back, class of 27, is going to do. But they got bodies and pieces everywhere. Got some young DBs that I'm really interested in seeing. But they lost so much, between Champ Thompson and Zion and Gavin Hall. I mean, they lost a lot of guys. So I really need to see what they're going to have. But it makes it easier for me to pick Carrollton. Outside of that, to answer the last part of your question, the number one matchup that I'm excited about, this isn't necessarily a Corky Kell matchup, but I want to see what DeSoto and Creekside look like. That's a huge game. DeSoto is nothing to be messed with. And shout out to Creekside, man. They continuously schedule the toughest opponents to get them prepared for their final stretch. I mean, them and Cedar Grove these are folks that do this kind of stuff all the time. But DeSoto is no joke. Texas football is no joke. Hopefully, Creekside is able to kind of represent Georgia in the right way and do a little bit better than they did last year when they went to California.
No doubt, man. I said the same thing. I previewed it. I think it was last week on the same show at 2 o'clock. I said, just what Creekside is doing, Coach Dixon, Coach McCreary, they're not scared to play nobody. They're going to schedule who it is. And I know they said, before they get sometimes it's hard to schedule in-state because teams don't want to play them. But I think they do a phenomenal job of scheduling these opponents and going up against some of the best nationally. And that's only going to make them better.
New
they
quarterback.
Come up a little bit short. Yep. That's going to be the
New quarterback, Caden Benson, man. Shout out to Caden. Shout out to Alex. Big move coming from Parkview over, giving the keys to the car at Creekside. It's just a lot of weapons, man. Eric Paul Jr., one of my favorite players to watch. Kid's electric out the slot. I think he's going to have a big year. But let's see what happens, man. Hopefully they do well.
We're going to find out, man. But that's all the time we got. I appreciate you so much, man, for coming on, just spreading your insight, man, and showing love as you always do, man. And we'll wrap here soon. And obviously you got my number, you got my Instagram, so we'll be in contact. Enjoy the National Combine as well, man.
Absolutely. See you soon, man.
See you soon. All right, guys. So there he goes. Again, you can go follow him on Instagram, Twitter. All that will be linked below. So appreciate you tuning in. We got our next guest ready to go, but we're going to take a quick short break. Thank our sponsors. We can be back on the other side with the Riverwood basketball coach.
Finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
All right, guys, welcome back to the next part of the segment. Excuse me. Can't wait to be joined by Riverwood head coach. Having a great season. I know Craig is getting that together. But 23-7, phenomenal year, big time win, 70-64 against Woodstock. But I think he's ready. Let's go ahead and bring him on.
Hey, is the power?
That's okay, no problem. All right, here we go. Hey, coach.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Still playing ball this time of the year, so that's always a good thing.
No doubt about it. I appreciate you bringing on your team as well. I see him in the background, Karis, and also J.R. Leonard. Appreciate Jesse and Jackson coming on as well. So, Coach, I'll go ahead and get it started. I wanted to ask you, just back-to-back winning season the past few years, how have you been able to kind of turn around this program, Coach, and get it to playing at this high level and have a chance to contend for a title?
I just think it's the guys on the team. It's the talent. A few years ago when we were down, we were young. And so we understood that was part of the process. We knew that, we lost some games when the senior group was sophomores, that experience would pay off. And it's just starting to pay off for us these last two seasons.
No doubt about it, Coach. Now, walk me through the game last night. I know you held a 13-point lead at halftime. You guys were able to pull it out there. Just talk a little bit about that game, how exciting it was to play in that Elite against Woodstock.
Oh, it was great. It was a great atmosphere. We brought a bunch of fans out. They had a bunch of fans out. We had the lead at half, and then they were a good team. 20-win team playing at home in the Elite 8 round, and they fought back. They hit some shots, and they really challenged us. And we just had to dig deep late in the game and make sure that we got some stops. Our guys really hit the boards. We decided we wanted to make sure that we won the rebound battle. And that was a big push for us in the second half, and we were able to hold on and get the win.
No doubt, Coach. And obviously we're going to talk about, the four that you got with you today. But I want to ask, besides those four, who's been kind of an underrated player that's come in for you, has stepped up big, just, defensively, offensively, coming in, doing the dirty work for you, just doing the things that you need in order to kind of help facilitate winning?
Yeah, it's been great. We have two guys that score a lot of points. And so our team requires other guys to do other things, and guys have stepped up in roles that they've accepted. Calvin Lindsay is our captain, and Calvin's always taken on the challenge of guarding the other team's primary perimeter player. And he does it every day in practice. He's got to guard, Karis every day in practice. And so when he goes out and has to guard other guys, he's able to use that experience from practice to help him. He's been great. Jay Green is a guy who came off the football field for us this year. We didn't know what to expect when we got him, but he's been great for us coming off the bench and being a physical presence in the post.
No doubt about it, Coach. And then, what has kind of been your favorite thing about this group? I'm sure you took some road trips with them. What have you just enjoyed, starting from fall camps and now? What's been your favorite thing about this group so far?
Just watching them come together, man. It's a great group of guys. They've come together as a team and have found their own identity. Every group has a little bit of a different identity, so it's taken us a little bit to find ours. And since we found it, they like to have a good time. They do a lot of freestyling on the bus. We got some talented guys with some lyrics.
I believe it. I believe that. And then, Coach, I want to ask, tough stretch, right before the playoffs. A lot of times you'll see, if you have multiple losses like that back-to-back, it'll affect the team. But it didn't affect your team, right? You guys are here in the Final Four. So what was your message to them, with those losses against North Atlanta and Marist to keep them, in the game, just keep them going on, hey, we still got a very talented bunch. Let's not let this deter what we're capable of.
We just had to regroup. When you play teams 3 times in a season, it can be tough. And we played Marist quite a bit. And just the way the schedule worked out, we had to play them back to back. And so losing that game at home, it was tough for us. But they regrouped. I think when you have a strong senior group, it allows you to kind of let the players fix some of the things. And so, they came together and decided that they weren't ready for the season to end. And they decided to start fighting a little bit harder and get after it on the defensive end a little bit more. And I think since then we've been able to come together as a group and try to continue to accomplish our goal. One of our goals was to win a region championship. And so when that didn't happen, we had to kind of, refocus a little bit and decide what the next step was going to be. And the goal then is to win a state championship. So it's really been them. It's been their decision. It's been the group just kind of coming together and deciding that what was most important.
No doubt, Coach. And I know you got some players with you, so I'm going to let you go ahead and just introduce them, or they can introduce themselves, just, where they're from, the position they play, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you got it.
Jesse Graves, number 0, born in Florida.
J.R. Leonard, number 23, class of 2025. Karis Bilal, point guard, class of 2024.
Jackson Davis, number 12, class of 2024.
All right. So I want to start with Jackson. Just talk a little bit about your role on this team, man, and what that kind of entails on the day-to-day. I know you guys got to go up against 2 really great scorers. What's that like, man, and how has that made you better as a player?
Just really being like one of the dirty players, getting rebounds, just getting them the ball, just fighting real hard. The energy always needs to be there, and let them do what they do. So that's really all it is.
And I know you play football as well, so kind of how does that translate? How does football translate onto the basketball court? I know good hand-eye coordination really helps on the football field, but how has you playing football really helped you on the basketball court and helped your team?
Just passing's helped a lot. I play quarterback, so I'm a good passer with the ball in my hands. Just help being a leader with everyone. As a quarterback, you have to be a leader, so just helping everyone out, especially the younger guys in practice, stay on top of everything. So that's pretty much it.
Got you. And then I know you have 2 great scorers, but I know you'd be setting up opportunities for them. I know they can score on all 3 levels and kind of create their own shot. But let's say it's a team getting teams are double teaming them, right? They're adding a lot of defensive pressure to them. Do you kind of look for your shot a little bit more to kind of get going, kind of be that next piece, that next weapon potentially on the court when a lot of the defensive attention is going towards those 2?
Yeah, I'd say so. Also, number 0, Jesse, right here. Him and I, when they're getting doubled, we're the ones that have to step up and really score the ball. So, especially these next 2 games are going to be tough. So, going to have to score when the ball gets in my hands for sure. So, yeah, I'd say so.
No doubt. Now, this is a question for both of you, Jackson and Jesse. Kind of, you guys are the seniors, right? You're the leaders. Coach talked about what you guys kind of went through that sophomore year and how that experience has helped you guys. So, talk about what was that message to some of the guys coming in, some of the younger guys, what you want to accomplish this year, knowing, hey, this is it. This is our last year. We have big goals, and we want to be in a position to potentially reach them. What was kind of your message, to the team?
Well, coming in senior year, of course, as a senior, all of us want to win. We want to win it all. Just a message to the younger guys would be, go out and play hard. Me personally, I wasn't here sophomore year, but I know coming from last year losing to Lee County, the pain of defeat is. So we really just want to go out and play our hardest to make sure we get the win.
No doubt. And then Jesse, talk a little bit just about your role. I know you play a big one as well. Just kind of what do you mean to the team, and how is, kind of your impact help?
Well, whatever Coach Buck tells me to do, I'll do. We got 2 high caliber scorers, so any way I can set them up to, do whatever they can do, that's what I'm going to do.
No doubt about it. And then I got to throw it to the 2 stars, obviously. I start with Karras. I know it's probably pretty cool, but just talk about experience playing with another star alongside yourself, knowing that you can get him the ball, he's going to go get the bucket, he's going to go do his thing. What's that like having, 2 great players playing together?
It's really good because knowing that teams are going to double team, face guard me, and do whatever they can do to stop me, I know there's somebody else on the court that can do the same thing I can do. So, and then we just had that happen in the second round. A team tried to face guard and double team the whole game, and did what he's supposed to do and score 50 points. So it's really good to have another scorer like that on the team.
No doubt. And then Karras, it was a game I went to earlier this year, right? I remember it was a player that was real physical with you. You guys played Shiloh. I think it was January, but what I liked about it was you were so cool and calm, right? You were just playing your game. You didn't let that get to you. You was doing your thing. A lot of players can get frustrated. Kind of talk about that cool, calm demeanor, where that kind of originates from, and how that allows you just to be able to play at a high level.
I think it just comes from my work, and I just go out there knowing that nobody can guard me. So whether somebody wants to be rough with me or do whatever they want to do to try to get me off my game, I know I put enough work to go out there and score the ball. So that's pretty much it.
No doubt about it. And then, for you, Karras, last one I'll throw it to JR. What, from your junior year to now, what part of your game do you feel like has been able to elevate the most, or just you've seen the most growth in from junior year to now your senior year?
I'll say a lot of it is my motor, trying to, on both ends, on the defensive end and offensively, just keeping my energy up the whole game and not getting down on myself on missed shots or whatever's going on in the game, just trying to do whatever I can to help us win, no matter what's going on in the game.
No doubt about it. And then JR, your teammate, Karras, I'm going to ask you the same thing. What's it like playing with him, from your perspective, having another great guard alongside you that, if you get a lot of defensive attention, he's going to be at the ball. Just talk a little bit about that. And then talk about the 50-point game, man. I mean, when did you know that was kind of going to be your night? Like I know there's an instance, I'm going to talk about it in a second, but when did you know it was going to be your night?
Well, really, I really didn't even know it was really going to be my night. I just came out and did what I needed to do to help my team win the game. It just kind of happened.
Got you. And then what's it like playing with Karras?
It's great. Playing with somebody else that can just score the ball just on a high level, and it just takes pressure off me as well. So it's easy. And he makes the game easier for me, so it's great.
No doubt. Now, I don't know if you guys follow NBA at all?
Yes.
Yeah, I got to ask. I know some players don't like to. Some players just like college. Well, I don't know if y'all heard about the game last night, but LeBron ended up outscoring the Clippers 19-16. He just had it going. So that reminded me kind of your 50-point game, JR. So as a shooter, as a scorer, all you guys can answer this question. When do you know, okay, hey, this is a night for me. I'm feeling the groove. How many shots have to go in till hey, this night going to be kind of different. I'm feeling the groove. I found my rhythm. When do you kind of know that as a player and as a scorer?
I know it when it doesn't even have to be a shot. It's just like a feeling I get. Even I can feel it in warm-ups sometimes. It's just a feeling I get. It goes through my body, and then I just know I'm going to go out there, and every shot's going to go in. I can just feel it on certain days.
And then for you, JR, Jesse?
Oh, you mean? All right. I kind of pick up where he left kind of off. It's just like a feeling, like he said, and you just get going, and then when you just get going, you just feel like I just can't miss.
And then for you, Jesse?
Yeah, I would say I get the feeling thing, but after the first two, then I definitely feel hot. That's when I know it's a good day.
No. And then for you, Jackson?
Just when the first couple shots go in, it's going to be a good day. So, like what Jesse said.
Got you. Now, Jay, I want to throw one more to you. What part of your game do you feel like you excel at the most, and what part of the game do you want to feel like you want to keep getting better and keep fine-tuning? Obviously, I know probably going to say the whole thing, but what part of your game do you feel like is really top tier?
I definitely just say the ability to be versatile on the court. I say for sure, he just really just do everything. Just be the guard, and I say that's probably my strong suit.
No doubt about it. Well, actually, this is for all four of you guys. I want you guys to talk about the man right here with you, your head coach. What impact has he had on you guys' career? You can answer one by one. And what has he kind of meant to you, not only as a coach, but maybe even as a role model, just somebody helping you get to where you want to be on the next level of your career as well?
Being here for 4 years, he teaches you stuff they can use on and off the court. He cares about you on and off the court, not just what you can do from on the court. He really cares about you in the future, and just I'll just say he's just a great coach, and yeah, he just cares about you getting better. And I've grown so much being here for 4 years.
Yeah, great coach. Obviously, one of the best around. It really teaches you every day how to be a man and take accountability, and that's like, the next step you need in growing up in general or playing basketball at the next level. So, just great coach. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'll kind of pick up where he left off. Great overall coach, as you probably know. Just and a great overall human being as well. Just helping us, just not only on the basketball court but off as well. Helping us take accountability, like Jackson said, and just become a man. He doesn't just teach you about basketball stuff. He teaches you about life lessons, and he's just a great coach.
I would agree with a great coach, and especially for me, pushing my limits. And when he does it on the court, it definitely motivates me off the court too.
No doubt about it. Well, all right. I got a couple more. I'm gonna throw it back to Coach. So it's some fun questions. So I want to ask each of y'all, who is the funniest guy on the team? Who is the clown on the team? I know y'all know who it is.
Go,
Yeah,
you gotta be Dylan. Dylan Matthews for sure. Yeah,
Why Dylan? What he be doing? Why Dylan? Coach said it too. What Dylan be doing?
Everything. He's the rapper on the team. Yeah, he's the rapper too. Definitely the rapper on the team.
Oh, so he'll be the one doing the freestyling.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure,
So that's the funniest. Okay, who is the most, I guess, serious player on the team? If you guys have one that's just always locked in, just always just nothing but hoops, just always locked in the moment. Who's that?
Calvin.
Captain Kyle.
Captain Kyle. Okay, Kyle is the most serious. All right, now I'm going to ask the players. I know y'all been on some great road trips, so I want y'all to answer this each individually. What's been the most fun road trip y'all been on so far this year with Riverwood?
Probably Lee County. Just the environment was just insane. Big game, needed to win, and it was just the best trip overall, probably, for sure.
Yeah, I'll say Lee County because I feel like everybody wanted to win just as much as everybody else. Everybody just wanted to win so bad, and then it just the trip there and back it just felt like it was a great trip. I'd say Lee County as well. A great overall trip. We got the win. Did everything we needed to do, and had fun along the way.
Yeah, definitely Lee County. Lee County is their environment, and them beating us the year before, it was great to get up there.
That was definitely the game that we kind of felt a lot come together, because we ended our season last year at Lee County, and having to go down there in the first round, knowing that our backs were against the wall, a 3.5-hour road trip to get off the bus and to go in that type of environment, we learned a lot about ourselves as a team for sure. And so I was going to answer the same way, and to hear them answer it, I know everyone on the team, if you ask each man 1 through 16, they would all tell you the exact same thing. That trip was the one that was without a doubt fun, but I think we learned a lot about ourselves because, like you said earlier, we just come off of 2 losses, and so we had to go down there to fight for our season, and everybody went down there and fought for our season, and we came out on top. So I think that's what made it so fun.
No doubt about it, Coach. And then 2 more for the players. We'll go back to you, Coach. I want to ask, who is y'all favorite player? It don't have to be NBA, it could be college, but who is y'all favorite player right now besides yourselves that you like to watch, in your free time? I know y'all be on the YouTube, watch YouTube videos. Who's y'all favorite player?
Mine's probably Paul George, Steph Curry, for sure.
Okay.
I'll say Kyrie Irving. I would say Anthony Edwards.
I'd say the GOAT, LeBron.
And then real quick, a follow-up. What y'all like about each of them?
Just smooth, can shoot, just score the ball. It's like fun to watch, super fun to watch.
I like Kyrie. Just he can work at all three levels, especially like the mid range. He has a post game. He can really do everything on the court offensively. I said the same about Ant-Man. He's very versatile, and he can just I love watching his athleticism for sure.
I mean, he's just the GOAT, so he's just better than everybody and everything. So.
Hey, Jesse, I'm assuming you liked that takeover performance last night, then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Year 21, showing he's still the GOAT. That's crazy.
No doubt about it. All right, last one for the players, man. Who are y'all taking in the NCAA tournament, man, this year, man? I know it's some big-time teams, UConn, Houston, Purdue, Tennessee, Kentucky, South Carolina. Who y'all taking to win it all this year, man? I got to hear the hot takes, the hot picks, man.
Go Duke. Blue Devil fan for sure, so go Duke.
Yeah, I got Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
sure.
right now I'm taking Tennessee right now.
Take Tennessee, all right.
I got Irvine, sleeper pick. UC Irvine.
UC Irvine. Okay, you don't hear that one a lot. I usually hear the Blue Bloods as top pick. I respect that pick, man. I respect that. All right, Coach. 2 more. I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. I want to ask you, Coach. What kind of stands out about the matchup you got coming up this weekend, this Saturday against Jonesboro? Right, pretty good team, can shoot it. Got a really good scorer in Montez Redding, Coach. What kind of stands out about that matchup?
I think it's a really good matchup. I think Jonesboro, they're led with their backcourt just like we are. I think it's going to be a battle. What stands out is I think the guard matchups, and if the turnovers, we have to be able to handle the pressure that they're going to bring, and they're going to have to be able to handle our size in the post and our ability to score the basketball. I think it's a great matchup in the Final Four, and if we come out and play the way that we've been playing, and from what I've seen from them, if they come out and play the way that they've been playing, it's going to go down to the wire. And the team that comes out of that game, I think, is going to have some real momentum going into the finals.
No doubt. And from what you've seen, Coach, you've been in a lot of big games throughout your career. What is the biggest thing for those that don't know, that are just watching basketball maybe for the first time? What's the biggest thing it comes down to when you're in a tightly contested game and you got to come out with a win? What leads to victory for one team and maybe not necessarily the other? What does the team got to do in order to kind of pull that out?
Got to take care of the ball. Obviously, the team that wins the turnover battle is always has the upper hand. You got to rebound the ball. You got to limit teams to one shot opportunity each possession, and on our end we have to try to get multiple possessions. And then the last thing, it's always about making shots. So if you can make shots and rebound the basketball, if you can win 2 out of 3 of those battles, I think that leads to victory.
No doubt about it. And last question, Coach. In your eyes, maybe the players can answer this too, but how special would it be, even for these seniors in here, the 3 of them, would it be to kind of be the first group to win a state championship for the Riverwood basketball program? How special would that be for you? I want to start with you, Coach, and allow the players to answer. How special would that be for you guys' program as a whole?
It would be incredibly special. Truth is, they've been saying it all year. Like, they believe it. At the beginning of the year when they were doing their media run and people were asking them questions, they kept saying, we're in this to win the state championship. And, I'm a little old school, so I'm like, hey, man, don't say that. We just going to work every day and figure out where we get to. And they kept saying it. And so, I have to salute them in that, because I think before anybody else believed that it was possible, they put it out there and they've done the work to try to put us in a position. But I can't even say in words how special it would be to win a state championship this year.
Yeah, and then for the players, what would it mean to y'all? I heard from your coach, but you guys are in there putting in the work every single day in practice, going up against each other. How special would it be for you guys?
It would mean everything, just especially for the team and for the school, and even for myself, just not having that knock on me anymore, that I haven't been able to win anything here yet, and just being able to win something would mean so much to me.
Yeah, that would mean so much. It would just mean the world just to win, here. You know, I started here, so just winning with my guys here, it would mean everything.
Yeah, as a senior, going out with a bang would definitely be special.
Yeah, you put in the work every day, so getting the ultimate reward would probably be the best feeling. Great feeling, for sure.
No doubt about it. Well, Coach, want to say thank you so much for just coming on the podcast, man, just being able to shed a little bit of light on your group and what you guys are doing and the success you guys are having. So really appreciate it. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Karis, and also thank you, Jackson. I appreciate all you guys for coming on, man. It's a special pod today. So good luck this weekend against Jonesboro. We'll be rooting for you guys, and go Riverwood, and hope you guys come out with a win.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, so there they go. Officially, that is Riverwood. Appreciate you, Craig, for putting in that full body picture like that. That was very, very clutch. But, yeah, a lot of fun, man. I appreciate the coach. You don't always see that bring his whole team on or 4 of his key players from this past season, man. They're all special. You guys don't know. Karis Bilal, who we're talking to, he is going to Vanderbilt. Will play for head coach Jerry Stackhouse there. Very great scorer, 3-level scorer, very cool, calm, and collected. Scored a 40-piece so far in the postseason. They're averaging about 25, 24 each, him and JR. JR had a 50-piece, 51 points, 8 rebounds so far in the postseason. Absolutely went off in their Sweet 16 win against Evans. That was him as well. And then you've seen Jesse and Jackson both getting it done. One gets it done on the playmaking side of the ball, creating lanes, being able to go find a shot, being able to create opportunities for them. And then the other was Jackson just being able to kind of be on the rebounds and being able to kind of do the dirty work for the team. So appreciate Coach for doing that and bringing them on. But that's going to conclude this segment. We're going to take another quick short break, thank our sponsors, and be back on the other side.
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
All right, guys, welcome back. So we got just going to recap a couple of the biggest scores. I know Craig is going to be back tomorrow, and he's going to recap the ones that he was able to do. So I'm not going to do a bunch of them, but just a couple ones that stood out to me from last night and from the past 2 days. And then I'll get into a quick tell of the tape and then conclude with the top 10 headlines for the weekend. So big result, as we mentioned, Riverwood is going to play Jonesboro. They beat Langston Hughes 62-51. They have achieved the 20-win milestone for the 3rd consecutive year after an 11-point victory. Great job for Jonesboro. They had a tough start to the season with 1-3, but have been led by Montez Redding. So that matchup should be a great backcourt matchup between those two teams, Riverwood and Jonesboro, in the next round. So a big win for them, and they reached the Final Four after last year falling in the quarterfinals to the eventual state champion, the Alexander Cougars. So, and speaking of Alexander, they continue to do big things, man. They have equaled their win total from last year. They're 28-2, and they have not lost since playing against McEachern, a 7A semifinalist as well, in the New Year's Classic back in January. So they right now have an active 15-game winning streak. They've beaten 13 of their 15 opponents by double digits. So that's just getting it done. And then, unfortunately, for the boys, same thing kind of happened. Douglas County was leading for a good bit of the way, but Woodward Academy was able to get hot late. They went on a 12-0 fourth quarter run in order to kind of take control of the game. and kind of be able to rally back. It was nip and tuck throughout, but Woodward was able to do enough. D. Cooper was big for Woodward. He flirted with a double-double, scoring 15 points in that game and grabbing 9 rebounds. Zach Foster, another great player for them, 13 points, 8 boards, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. And then Brandon Peters, he added 7 points and 9 rebounds on the night. And then we just had him on, but Riverwood was able to beat Woodstock. Held a 13-point lead at the break, but Woodstock made it interesting. A really good team, 20-win-plus team, but they was able to get great contributions from J.R. Leonard, who had 26 points, and then his teammate Karis Bilal had 23, and it was enough to lift them past them. And then for Woodstock, they was led by Jameer Nowell. He had 22, Taj Sarigba had 19, and Quentin Rickshaw had 14 in that contest. Another interesting one, we had him earlier on the Cork Kell Dave Hunter Basketball Classic, was the Douglas Atlanta. They ended up losing to Doherty on the road. Doherty has picked up their 8th consecutive win after another strong offensive performance. They have crossed the 70-point mark 3 times in the past 4 games. So they have been able to get it done. And then Sandy Creek, another strong performance for them, beating Monroe. It was nip and tuck to start, 14-12 lead for Sandy Creek, but second half just able to pull away. They did it with their trio that has been kind of dynamic, helped them win the state title last year. That's Amari Brown and Jacoby Richardson, both finished with 21 points. And then Makai Smith added 19. That is the James Madison commit. So special shout out to them. They've been getting it done year in and year out, and looking to win another title. Now, the other matchup, got to point out, Johnson-Savannah, big win over Hebron Christian, 57 to 50, excuse me. Big time performance, 27-point game from Fabian Kirkwood. He got it going offensively. He was hard to stop, hard to contain. Johnson held an early 16-7 lead in the first quarter. Got a memorable 4-point play from Kermani Jones, who's also big in this game. But Hebron Christian was able to kind of make it interesting to cut the deficit to 42-41. But Johnson used a 9-2 run in order to kind of separate, take firm control of that game. Joshua Quarterman added 13 points as well for Johnson, and they advanced on to the next round. And then another big matchup was Butler and South Atlanta. Again, one of those games just back and forth. Butler was able to get back into it after trailing early with a dominant second quarter. They only held South Atlanta to 4 points in that quarter. They trailed by 8 early, so that was a big-time quarter for them. And it's the second consecutive year they're going to play in the Elite 8. So big-time performance from them. Saku Hurst finished with the team high 22 points. Dor added 12 points as well. But great job by them fighting back after trailing 22-14 early on in their first quarter. And I think a team that should be getting a little bit more attention is Toombs County. They beat Athens Academy 67-41. Big-time performance for them yet again. Close, but they were able to kind of separate. 12-4 run early on to open the gates. And Jesus Quintero hit 6 of their 10 3-pointers and finished with 22 points in that game. So another magnificent performance from him. Dominic Easton added 17, and then Demetrius Cutler finished with a double-double, scoring 12 points and grabbing 15 rebounds. So big-time performance for him. And the other result that stood out to me was Westside Augusta versus Model, 78-40 win for them. And keep this, guys, Westside Augusta is seeking a 3-peat. So they are trying to go for it all. A 38-point emphatic win for them. Took an early 9-0 lead in the game, never relinquished it, and led 43-20 going into the break. A full, complete performance. Javon Webb was their leading scorer with a game-high 20 points on the night. And then Bobby Blackwell and Levante Ivory, they both contributed 10 points. So magnificent performance for them. Really great game as well. And there was one more big one that really stood out. Class A Division I should be another intriguing matchup as well. Savannah-Darlington game. I mean, what a phenomenal game to kind of be able to see from afar. Savannah, they trailed a little bit towards the end, but they used a 12-2 run in the fourth quarter to kind of advance past Darlington. Darlington held a 47-41 advantage with looks like 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game. But a decisive 12-2 run cut the deficit for them. They got into the lead before timeout was taken, and then they were able to kind of go to the next round after nailing their free throws. So that's a great job. Nip and tuck, they could have quilted after that 47-41 deficit, but they were able to overcome it, go on a 12-2 run, and eventually move on to the next round. So those are the results that stood out to me. Those are the ones I covered. I thought it was great, a lot of fun. So that is hoops. I know Craig's going to be back tomorrow previewing the Final Four matchups. It's a lot of fun. We were talking off air just about which classification has the best matchups, and I think for me, I think it's going to be 7A. I think 2A, and I think Class A Division 1 has some of the best semifinal matchups, just in my opinion. But we are going to roll one tell of the tape today. It's such a jam-packed show. We're only going to do one. We usually do two. We're going to do one. This is A.J. Bush from Collins Hill. He is a sophomore quarterback. We'll be interested to see kind of the role he carves out. I know he played a little bit of JV, but we know they have their starter from last year coming back for one more season. That's T.J. Wilcox. So it'll be interesting to see what role he's able to carve out. But you're going to be impressed with his dual threat ability, his ability to kind of throw the deep ball I also like as well, and his being able to keep plays alive. That dual threat ability is really going to help him, but we're going to roll his tape nonetheless. All right, so right here you're going to see him escape to the right side of the field. Good job putting the move on the defender right there. So boom, there he is, moving to the right. See the speed. Makes a nice job on the defender, puts his head down, stretches out for the touchdown. Great play right there. And then boom, here he is. Great deep ball. You're going to see it right here. I'm going to have Craig roll this one more time. This is part of the game I like the most. I think they need to let him air it out a little bit more. But 1-2, good footwork. Look at his opponent. And then just throw an absolute laser to the receiver. Easy money walk-in touchdown, as you can see right there. And then boom, right here's my favorite. Look at the move he put on the defender right here. Boom. Good job cutting outside, fooling the defender. Think he's going to go inside, and then turn it into a nice, looks like 13, 15-yard gain for Bush. And then right here, just getting it out quick, hitting his receiver in stride. Great play right there. Getting rid of it quick. And then boom, here he is right here, moving to the right. Escaping kind of the pressure, making a move right there on the defender, and turning it into a huge gain on the sideline. So good feet right there, good movement, dual threat ability. Here he is moving to the right. Nothing's there. Still looking, keeps his eye downfield, throws a nice accurate ball to the receiver over the middle of the field. And then boom, here he is moving to his left. Nice throw on the sideline, getting it out, hitting his receiver. And then boom, right here is going to be easy walk-in touchdown. There's nothing open downfield, uses his legs, turns it into a big-time touchdown right there. And then here it is moving to the right. Nice accurate ball off the run. Love that about him as well. And then boom, right here you're going to see the legs. Being able to get a quick first down. Great play yet again. Boom, here comes some pressure. Stay calm in the pocket. Right, be able to avoid it, move to his left, and then get close to the first down. So great play right here. And then here's against Parkview. Pressure's coming. Look at him escape. Move to the right. Turn into a big-time game right there. Nothing open downfield, but able to see what the team is doing. And here he is right here. It's a great job. So I'm going to have Craig roll that one more time. Move me over a little bit if you can. So this one right here, you're going to see him. Let's see how you roll it, Craig. There we go. All right, thank you. So here he is right here. So you're going to get some pressure on the play. Sometimes you'll see coaches say, well, you know, you probably shouldn't do this, but he's going to be falling down, but does a good job of still being accurate and getting to his receiver. So here he is right here. Boom. Here comes the pressure. Steps up, still there. It's going to go down, but good job throwing an accurate ball, just keeping the play alive. That's a heads-up play. So that was pretty awesome right there. All right, and here's Bush again, moving to his right. Sees it, good throw off the run yet again. Good accurate ball on the sideline for a touchdown. Then right here, love this play. Good fade ball. Look at where the ball placement is. Gonna roll that one more time. All right, so boom, right here. Fade ball. Look where he throws it. Look at the placement. Great throw right there on the sideline for Bush. Love that right there. And right here, you just getting it out quick. Let your receiver go in stride, let him do his thing. Right here is gonna be a play to the left. Getting it out quick, going through his read. Let the receiver do what he does in space. Now, this was my favorite play. We're going to roll this one more time. It's the last highlight. But, again, love the deep ball for him. I think that's his best trait to me so far, and the dual threat ability. But right here, you're going to see in the slot, great release right here. Fools the defense. Look where he hits him at in stride. Two defenders in the picture there, but he does a good job of out-throwing the defenders for an easy touchdown. So, that is the tell of the tape. That's my thoughts on it. Love the deep ball, good dual threat ability. Still young, only a sophomore, so it's going to grow into, his body, going to grow more and more. And I think it's going to really help him this year, being able to come up to varsity, kind of being behind T.J. Wilcox, learning the offense, learning the playbook with Coach Swick and the offensive coordinator and what they do at Collins Hill. So I think that's going to help him out a lot. But that's my thoughts. But let's conclude the show. Top 10 headlines for the weekend presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. to wrap up the show for today. So this is the matchup, I have to be honest, that I'm really salivating over, and I cannot wait to see this weekend. And it's in the semis, it's basketball, but I think Will and McEachern, I think that matchup is top tier. Both teams are big-time powers. They produce different types of talent, NBA talent that's played on the big stage. McEachern obviously has the number one player in the country, in my opinion. I think he's rated as number 2 on most ratings, but I think he's number 1. But I think it's cool to kind of see these teams are always in title contention and always being able to battle for a state championship. So I think it gets no bigger than this. And then I think my biggest question is who's going to be able to slow. I wouldn't say stop because he's hard to stop. Like he's just coming off a 33-point, 14 rebound, 16 rebound performance. But who can kind of slow him down? Who can make him feel uncomfortable? And I think it's not just one player, right? It has to be a collective team effort. I'm curious to see. Willard has a really great head basketball coach. What kind of coverages does he throw at Ace, right? Does he throw some zone, right? Some 2-3 zone, some 3-2 zone. Does he double him in the post, right? Does he try to play full court pressure? Like, there's different things you got to throw at Ace to make him try to feel uncomfortable. It's going to be very difficult on the high school level, but I think they got to be able to find a way to kind of make him feel uncomfortable, if that is even possible at all. So that's the big thing. They got some big-time players, right? They got Ricky McKenzie, Kennesaw State commit. They got Josh Hills, Arkansas State commit as well. In the post, some bigger time, forwards, as well, wing type defenders. So it's gonna take a full effort. They're gonna have their hands full, but I'm curious to see how that game's gonna turn out. I think it's gonna be a back and forth affair. But I think that the front court presence of Josh Hill and McKenzie is gonna be huge in this game. And I think for McKenzie, he's their leading scorer all season long. He's gonna have to be able to get his shot going in this one, be able to find his groove, be able to find the different spots he wants to get to on the defense. My big-time impact player in this game, though, is going to be Coda Tuttle, right? I think he has a really nice game. I got the chance to see him earlier this season, but he's a very physical guard, right? He can use his body to his advantage. He's a big body guard, I think. He can get to the lane with ease, and if you're too small, he can post you up. He can get to that spot that he wants to. And I also like about him, he can push tempo, and he can push the pace. So all those things are very, very important, in my opinion, of what a guard can do. So when you get those defensive stops, against Ace, when you get those defensive stops against Jay Nash, against some of their key players, you got to be able to push it and put the tempo out there and be able to kind of get to the basket. So that's going to be crucial in this game because it may be a little harder in the front court or being able to score there. So I think he's going to be a big time impact player. Has a nice strong frame, can get to the paint easily. He can also stretch the defense with his 3-point shot. And I think he's also good with just creating off the bounce. All those things are very, very crucial and big time. So I think it's going to be an entertaining game. Those are the players to watch for. Coda Tuttle, Josh Hill, Ricky McKenzie, and then for McEachern, number 30 you want to watch for, Ace Bailey and Jay Nash are going to be some of the key players. I think it's going to be one of the best games this weekend. So keep it locked for that. Can't wait to see who comes out on top. And we might finally get the matchup we want, whether that's either Grayson or Wheeler or Grayson or McEachern. No disrespect to Milton. They have a great team. I just think Grayson is on another level this year. It's no disrespect. I already talked to their head coach, Alan Whiteheart. He does a good job. They got some good players, Josh Dixon, Anthony Gauss, some phenomenal talent on that team. I just think Grayson has maybe just a little too much. But I think it's going to be a good game between those two. But my money is on Grayson for that one. And then number 2, we got the tweet pulled up. But nigger recruits, I think this is so exciting, especially what they're able to do for the football players. They're having their first ever All-Star game. Yes, they are. So I want to reveal just the jerseys. Here they are right here. Went for a white and a black look. So that is the official jersey reveal. Impact and Elite is the rosters. So here it is right here. Jersey reveal powered by Pride Athletics 2024 Nigger Classic Game Day 3/3/24 Pinecrest Academy. So that is the game. Basically a little bit about it. They're going to have a little bit of a recruiting expo. I heard they're going to have food there. Going to be at Pinecrest Academy. And it is set to be this weekend, Saturday, and also Sunday is going to be the official game. Some key players to watch for that's going to be in attendance: Nicholas Phillips, Kevin Caldwell, Tyler Ford of Gainesville, Douglas Callahan, Brody Craig, and more. So I think it's cool, obviously, with these type of events, being your first year, right? It's kind of a trial and error, in my opinion. So, I think they're going to be able to get a lot of experience, good exposure for the players. I think they do a good job of that, and a lot of people tag them into their stuff. They do a good job of retweeting and liking their stuff. So I think they're doing a good job of putting it out on a bigger stage and allowing these kids to be able to play on on a different level. And what's so cool, the media access is wide open. You can interview basically anybody you want, and they're going to have good tidbits and tips as well for the players. So I think that's going to be pretty awesome. Go check that out. That will be this weekend for Nega Recruits, who's a big-time brand here in Georgia. So wanted to give them a shout-out. Number 3, got to give a special shout-out to Savannah Christian head baseball coach Matt Oglesby. He achieved a major milestone. You're going to see here in the tweet right now from Savannah Christian. He just achieved 100 career wins, big-time victory for them, 11-5 win over Jefferson. Coach Matt Oglesby has won his 100th game as the head coach of the Raider baseball team, and they said congrats. So no easy feat. Wanted to give him a shout-out, 100 career wins for him, 11-5 win over Jefferson. So special shout-out to him. And then at number 4, speaking of baseball, some major top players from this past week. You had Adam McLevy, left-handed pitcher from Roswell. He's a Georgia Tech commit. McLevy had a strong outing against a top 10 opponent in 6A and Blessed Trinity, going 5 strong innings with 10 strikeouts. Showed good tempo on the mound and worked efficiently, getting ahead in the early counts. McLevy worked a mid-80 fastball up to 87 with heavy action. Also showed good off-speed pitches as well. So he had a top performance this past week per Prep Baseball Report. So that's what he did this past week. And he had Kate Kiss of Blessed Trinity, another Georgia Tech commit, athletic frame. Kids put together some competitive at-bats against a strong arm from Roswell. Kids led opposite field RBI double. He showed strong ability to match playing and show powers to the opposite field. Showed his defensive skills at third base as well with good forward and arm strength. And then the other standouts was Kate Brown of Parkview, 10 of 13 with 2 home runs this past week, 1 BB base. And then he had 7 RBIs and 7 stolen bases. So the 2022 future gamer is batting a .668 batting average over Parkview's first 5 games, with 3 of those opponents being in the top 10 of their classification. So special shout out to him. As you all know, we had Parkview pretty high last year. We thought they were going to win it all, but Lions came in the state championship game with a big time upset. So we know they're back for more, trying to make a deep run and win it all this past year. And then the last one is Banks Hickman, left-handed pitcher from Dawson County, also a first baseman. Had 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 1 hit, 1 base on balls, and then 15 strikeouts in that game. Hickman has tossed 13 innings on the year and has only allowed 1 run. So those special players have been doing their thing. Wanted to give them a shout out for the performance this past week. You can go to Prep Baseball Report, go to Georgia, and get all those news there. So shout out to them for always keeping us updated on baseball. All right, number 5, Toombs County athlete continues to blow up. A name you guys need to know. That's Lagonza Hayward. He was recently named a 4-star player. He absolutely balled out at the Under Armour camp here in Atlanta a few weeks ago. He just received a Georgia offer yesterday. He has an official visits coming up to Tennessee and FSU. And what was so cool at the camp, he was playing receiver too. So I think maybe on the next level he projects as a DB, but I listed him as an athlete because I think he can play both sides of the field well, and obviously you know how good Toombs County is doing in basketball right now. But I think next year you're going to probably see him play both if he doesn't already. But he has been blowing up, 4-star player. I think On3 has him as a 4-star as well. So he's getting a lot of buzz right now, and is continuing to buzz with a big-time Georgia offer from the SEC. So special shout out to him. And then number 6, Woodward Academy's running back Lucas Farrington has set his official visits for March. He will be at Louisville March 9th, Georgia Tech March 11th, Tennessee March 16th, Miami March 23rd, and Ohio State March 30th. So he had a big-time season, a 3-star player. I think he's 4-star on Rivals. He rushed for 1,016 yards and 11 touchdowns this past season, and they made the state championship. So a big-time player. A lot of colleges want him. He has officially set his visits for March. All right, number 7, another big-time player from Cedartown. We know the type of talent they're able to produce, but Tay Harris is set to participate in the Under Armour camp this weekend in Miami. He's rated as high as the number 131 player on the ESPN 300 rankings. Top player that everyone is after. He recently decommitted from Georgia, but I think some top teams for him will probably be Clemson, South Carolina, and obviously you got other ones coming up. Georgia Tech, Ole Miss is another one he pointed out on Duke the Scoop or Philip Duke's show this past week, as well as being kind of a top school he wants to go visit as well. So a lot of people are after his services. big-time athlete from Cedartown. I know they got big-time goals. Craig always talks very, very high of what Cedartown can do. And I feel like year in, year out, man, they're up there with North Oconee. They always have good seasons, and they're always able to produce and always be in a kind of title contention as well. So we'll see what happens. But Tay Harris has officially set that up. He will be at the Under Armour camp in Miami this weekend. All right, number 8. I don't know if there's been an official announcement yet, but Southeastern Baseball Classic is set to take place in the coming weeks in Lawrenceville, in Mississippi, in Tennessee as well, and also in Augusta. But several Georgia teams will be in attendance. You got Gwinnett Stripers. That is where some of them will play. Cedartown Wilkins are going to take on Ringgold. Then in Augusta, you have Prince Avenue Christian versus Hammock of South Carolina. Morgan County versus Augusta Christian as well out there in Augusta. Then March 16th, in another 2 weeks from now, Baylor, Tennessee versus Gordon Lee, and Blessed Trinity versus Upper Main, Tennessee. So there will be other matchups as well. I think they're still trying to find an opponent for Northside Columbus, so that's to be announced. But those are several teams that will be participating from Georgia. So I thought that was pretty cool. There'll be more updates, I'm sure, on ScoreATL.com when that officially comes out as well. All right, number 9. I thought this was pretty cool stat. Don't always see this, but per AJC, basketball semifinals. So of the 64 teams that are participating, 16 of the 64 are making the first Final Four appearances this century. So I thought that was a super cool stat. That's about a quarter of the teams participating for the first time, this century in the 2000s in the Final Four. And what's so cool about that? That just talks about the parity that's in basketball right now. I love that it's not just dominance. You got different teams being able to participate. Riverwood's one of them. There's several other ones. So, a lot of times you see the same program winning over and over again. It's nice to see for a change a new team being able to come in. So, don't get me wrong, dominance is cool, but love that other teams are getting a chance to be able to contend and compete for a state championship. You're going to see a lot of teams trying to get their first ever state championship, and that goes a long way with kind of creating that culture and creating that buy-in and kind of that tradition of what you are. And I only throw that out because look what Norcross was able to do back in the day, winning that first title. Look what it's grown into for them as a program. Like this year, from a talent perspective, not usually what Norcross has, but Coach Mack was able to get them to an Elite 8. Right, and they're going to be able to build on those experiences and build on what they were able to build this year with some of their young guys. Right, not going to have Casey Williams back, not going to have Toby Ojoku back, but you're going to have Jerron Salisbury. You're going to have some of those young guys that got really good experience this year that are going to be even better next year. So all that stuff matters. All that stuff is very, very important. All right, number 10 to close out the show. We definitely going to talk about it on the podcast on Tuesday. So if you're not tuned in every Tuesday, underrated and overlooked, you got to be tuned in because we're definitely going to talk about this. I'm not going to reveal it completely because it's going to be one of our topics, but I think it's interesting. So, right now they're having their college football meetings as far as like the league guys and things like that. So it's revolved around National Signing Day, actually. And it looks like this is going to affect high school players, and it looks like potentially they're going to add another day. Yes. So I'm not going to say the day it is, but in addition to December and February, looks like we're going to have another month for a National Signing Day. So we're going to discuss it on the show. I think this is big. I want to get Craig's opinion on it too when we react to it officially. But yes, it's going to be another month. Let's just say it's going to be in the summer. I'm not going to reveal the month yet because I want to react to it on Tuesday. But it is going to be in the summer. Almost said the month. Had to catch myself. But me and Craig are going to announce it and talk about it on Tuesday at noon. So you don't want to miss that segment, National Signing Day, adding another one in the summer. So stay tuned for that. That's all I got for today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tune in for Craig's show tomorrow, drive for the GHSA state title. Who you got coming on?
Miller County's new coach, Manchester's former coach, Coach Holmes.
Nice. There you go. Miller County's new coach, Manchester's former coach, coming on. If you guys don't know already, Craig does a great job bringing on the top coaches in the state to come on this podcast and this show, and new coaches. Always has the best updates on the coaches around the state. So stay tuned tomorrow at noon, drive for the GSA state title. That's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Peace.